Hello again. Welcome, comrades, to Social Justice News Channel, the place for all things anti-fascist. Today's show is sponsored by the Center for Study of Government Studies to see how much such studies affect other studies that are studying the government, Incorporated. Whew, that's a long title. Must be an important group. Our studio was built on stolen, ignoragitus people's lands. Let's really get right into the realistic news. First, far-right extremist Elon Musk still hasn't purchased Twitter, so free speech is safe from hate speech. For now, Joe Biden may come to our rescue.
Biden administration officials are discussing whether the United States should subject some of Elon Musk's ventures to national security reviews, including the deal for Twitter Inc. and SpaceX's Starlink satellite network, according to people familiar with the matter.
The Biden admin, who should be in control of Twitter, has decided that Elon Musk might not be allowed to buy Twitter after all. Biden can put him up for a security review, as the purchase is a national security risk. I personally feel they should consider taking away Starlink, SpaceX, and even Tesla under the same wartime powers. Elon is a threat, and recently tried to involve himself in the Ukraine war by proposing peace negotiations. This isn't his realm, and he should stick to just making cars. Let's look at some recent polls to see what people are saying. There you have it. Clearly everyone knows that the left needs to keep control of Twitter to get rid of hate speech. The people have spoken. In fact, I don't know why we haven't switched over to voting for politicians by using Twitter. It seems clearly safe and more convenient. For our next story, we got to ask Joe Biden a question at a recent huge rally that he held. It was absolutely huge and had dozens of people in attendance. The important question we asked: how much has he brought down gas prices nationwide since taking office?
Over $200 billion.
He had to run off after that, but he went into further details of his massive accomplishments later in that day.
By bringing down the cost of everyday things they have to work their families through. It's not just food and energy, which is critical. We brought down the cost of energy. But we have a lower inflation rate than most any other nation in the world. We, the Democrats, are the ones that are fiscally responsible. Let's get that straight now, okay?
Joe Biden does so much for our country. He did that. How bad do you think gas prices would be under Donald Trump? Probably back to $5 a gallon. Then there are those tweets that hurt everyone's feelings. There's also nasty rumors going around that Biden is not all right.
Well, I think inquiry should take a look. I think it's a legitimate thing to be concerned about anyone's age, including mine. I think that's totally legitimate. But I think the best way to make the judgment is to watch me. Am I slowing up? Am I don't have the same pace? Or, and that old joke, everybody talks about the new 70s, 50s, and all that stuff. It could be, I'm a great respecter of fate. I could get a disease tomorrow. I could, drop dead tomorrow. But in terms of my energy level, in terms of how much I'm able to do, I think people should look and say, does he still have the same passion for what he's doing? And if they think I do and I can do it, then that's fine. If they don't, then they should vote against me. Not against me, they should encourage me not to go. But that's not how I feel. I can't even say the age I'm going to be. I can't even get it out of my mouth. I have not made that formal decision, but it's my intention. My intention to run again. And we have time to make that decision.
Dr. Biden is for it. Mr. President. Oh,
Dr. Biden thinks that, my wife thinks that, that we're doing something very important.
Biden was clearly tired from all the hardcore and pressing questions, and we learned that he had been busy the rest of that morning hanging out at the beach with Rob Reiner. And now we take you to a quick commercial from one of our sponsors. Introducing another great book by Libtard Press Publishing. Now you can riot peacefully. Now you can end fascism peacefully. Don't stand for people not doing anything. Remember, silence is violence, so speak up. This instructive book is available everywhere books are sold and is coming soon to elementary school libraries everywhere. Bonus sections include an Antifa branch directory to hook you up with like-minded incels near you. Included are maps of all the best neighborhoods to loot and burn peacefully. Maps where you can be released without bail and where police presence is minimal due to defunding. Order now, you'll get a newly added section on making weapons out of grandma's and mom's old stuff. Loot your basement room first. Find some knitting needles? Those are useful. Old baseball gear you never once used? Absolutely. An abandoned laser pointer? Read this new section, you're on your way to making some great gear, like a makeshift drink coaster ninja throwing star. With tips like this, you'll soon be no different than a well-trained Marine. Don't let great educational books like this pass you by. Order from Libtard Press Publishing today. What a great book. I own 5 copies myself in case I want to read it more than once. Our next story is about a possible railroad strike. Since trains run on gasoline, we should change them over to wind, water, and solar-powered trains. Now is the time to do this, since we're giving up fossil fuels. They say we don't have enough lithium and cobalt in the world for enough EV batteries for even everyone in the US. But you know that's propaganda. Elon Musk will go to Mars and bring us back more. As for the railroad strike, I can't even see how railroads are important for shipping anymore. Just ship everything you'd put on a train through Amazon. They have free shipping if you're a Prime member. Conservatives have to make everything out like it's complicated. Our next story is about a TikTok star that went to the White House in support of gender-affirming care.
It's day 222 of being a girl. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to the White House to speak to the President of the United States! You know that phrase, I fear I may have girl bossed too close to the sun? Well, that's how I feel today, because I get to sit down with Joe Biden and now this news, and I get to ask him a few questions surrounding trans issues in the United States.
He interviewed Joe Biden and got him to promise support for puberty blockers, gender-affirming care, and the need to surgically sterilize kids. She may have girl bossed too close to the sun, but it was also an amazing display of big dick energy. So stunning and brave. You go, girl. Our next story is about some restroom issues occurring in big cities. This image is a public toilet in downtown Portland, Oregon, being hailed as a successful taxpayer program. Each toilet location costs taxpayers around $100,000 and tens of thousands more to maintain each year. This public toilet was filled with so much feces and has been managed so poorly that the whole facility may get rezoned so it belongs to Washington, D.C. Anonymous sources report that the White House is ready to assume control, and taxpayers nationally would assume responsibility in the case, thereby relieving Portland of this tax liability. In a similar story, the entire city of San Francisco may also be rezoned soon and is expected to undergo a name change to Sand Needle Shitso. Social media posts have been claiming that a morgue worker gave birth to a dead man by having sex with his corpse. This story was investigated and found to be fake, but it brings up many questions. Where are the fact checkers in protecting people that want to have a baby with a dead guy? Is it possible, or would it be a waste of time? We need fact checkers to step in for cases like this. It is very important. Is this even against the law? Republicans act like decency is just expected and push their ethics and religion on people. They ignore that a dead man has no rights. Besides, I thought they liked babies. Anyway, we need more fact checkers, and Elon Musk is talking about laying off 75% of Twitter staff. Imagine what that will do to the fake news and the lack of guidance in social media posts. Imagine the time a woman could waste because she didn't get a good fact check on a news story. Speaking of some really great facts and news, Jim Acosta is being fired from CNN. This longtime superstar is one of the few brave enough to challenge Donald Trump for the microphone in the press briefing room. We will be reaching out to offer him a job here, but he is probably way too famous and will likely get snatched up quickly by a big network like Fox News. We are considering an offer to Chris Cuomo too, and have been considering a Cooking with Fredo segment, where Fredo would teach us all about Italian cuisine. Fredo was contacted, but said he would have to consider learning to cook, and he was also thinking about teaching journalism at Harvard with Brian Stelter. Our last news segment is covering some high-quality history and entertainment, as we highlight a new educational series titled Rise of the Nazis, a powerful and resonant series that looks at how Joe Biden stopped the Nazis from seizing power in America and ushering in the death of democracy. It's got really high ratings, and would probably be higher, except for they haven't yet removed the ratings by right-wing review bombers yet. Let's look at some footage from the series.
But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So tonight, I've come to this place where it all began to speak as plainly as I can to the nation about the threats we face. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. That the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
Wow, what a powerful bunch of statements. We should probably give this a watch right before the elections. It's crazy that we're facing Republicans that don't believe in the rule of law and other things that Biden is doing to save us. Well, that was every piece of news, and absolutely nothing else happened in the world. We watched Twitter closely, and if it wasn't on there, it didn't happen. Please tune in next time when we discuss how important it is for all men to sit down when they pee in order to show support for gender equality. Now we turn you over to Karen on Twitter for the really important news. Good evening, comrades.
Oh, Robbie. No, Robbie.
Hey everyone, this is where I ask you for a like and subscribe. Please share our videos. We're trying to get out there. It's difficult being a conservative on YouTube and even Twitter. They suppress a lot of the stuff we do, but please share this around. If you have any suggestions for any content, we'll be adding a lot more things. Even some meme stuff coming up. Probably release some videos on that. later in this week, if not another episode of Social Justice Warrior News. Thank you for watching.